Hi everybody. Today we're going to be looking at how nutritional, should I say, or nutritious, yeah, English language, right, is duckweed when fed to your fish as food, and yeah, and giving stating facts rather than fiction. Stay tuned. All right, so here we go, guys. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of shares, and a lot of discussion with individuals regarding fish farming. Even some large fish farmers have practiced this habit of feeding their tilapia fish duckweed. I would think that they would have much sense not to do so. But anyway, let's get into it now. While duckweed is high in protein supplement, right, relying on it for as a primary feed source for tilapia presents several significant disadvantages. All right, let's look at the nutritional deficiency. Now, duckweed is often over 90% water, guys. Now, meaning fish most consume massive quantities just to get the basic calorie needed. That 10%, they have to consume a lot of it to get the 10% nutritional section, which has calories and the necessities for survival. Now, while it is rich in protein, it lacks the essential amino acids and lipids. Remember, a few weeks ago, I did a share about lipids, right? It lacks amino acid and lipids found in balanced commercial pellets, right? Which can lead to a stunted growth rate in food grade, not only tilapia but in food grade fish. Now, I've done several pieces on duckweed, right? And I've shared with you that duckweed increases the bioload within my aquatic space. As a result of that, I got rid of it totally. Now, on the flip side, duckweed uses a lot of oxygen. So duckweed within your space where you keep your tilapia, although you have heavy filtration mechanism, it poses the risk of having oxygen depletion. Now, a dense matter of duckweed blocks sunlight and prevents atmospheric oxygen from dissolving in the water. Now, this can cause a crash in dissolved oxygen levels at night and potentially killing your fish. Remember, I shared it to you earlier on in other videos, guys, that at night the water are cool, whether you're in North America, in the Caribbean, or in India. At night the water are cool, right? Water, wherever you keep your fish, tends to get cool. You have less oxygen in cool water than you have in warm water. So with the duckweed, what you call it now, utilizing the oxygen at night. During the day, it releases oxygen and uses carbon dioxide, right? And in the night, it does the flip side, right? So it can be a risk. Now, pathogen, or should I say bacterial infection or introduction. Harvesting duckweed from wild or stagnant sources can introduce harmful parasites, bacteria, leeches into your controlled tilapia fish pond. Now, I have seen where rich persons suggest that they do not have their duckweed plant in the same space as their tilapia. They take duckweed from a specific section where it is grown, and it is fed to the fish on a timely basis, right? But you also have issues with that mechanism, because you have frogs and other animals that goes to that water that is without fish, without disturbance. Only the duckweed is in it, and what you find is that you end up with pathogens from the wild animals, from the insects, from whatever lives within that space, because there's no fish to actually consume the larvae or whatever is produced from its inception, its egg or its microorganism stage, right? All right. Duckweed also increases ammonia spike, and I spoke to you about this already in one of my series when I was looking at duckweed, the fact that it contributes to the bioload within your fish pond. That means that, you know, it increases the risk of increased ammonia within the space. Now, uneaten duckweed decays rapidly, leading to dangerous spikes in ammonia and nitrites. Now, regardless of how hungry the tilapia is, and tilapia is going to end up have some fragments of duckweed left within the system, and it is biodegradable. So what happens is that it's going to be degraded within the water, making the water parameters not really safe for the fish to live. Now, operational challenges. Now, invasive growth. When you look at duckweed, right? Duckweed can clog mechanical filter system. It can clog the intake of the submersible pump and the aeration system, leading to equipment failure. I know with equipment failure and the duckweed utilizing the oxygen and the duckweed contributing to ammonia spike, you know what that means, right, guys? That the duckweed is eventually going to win and the fish is actually going to die. All right, so you also have what you call mineral imbalances when you do feed or do practice to have duckweed and your tilapia together. High levels of calcium oxalate in certain duckweed species and can interfere with mineral absorption and cause long-term health issues in the fish. Remember, we want lean, nice, healthy tilapia to be harvested and sold or to reproduce, so that you will have a greater income. Now, using duckweed as a feed source for your fish is not good, right? Recommendation: treat duckweed as a supplement snack. Now, I am not saying that you should stop using duckweed to feed your tilapia fish stock, but some persons are adamant that they are going to be making their own tilapia fish feed, because their tilapia fish feed, you know, it's expensive, especially in Jamaica. You're talking about a 45 kilo of 45 bag kilo, you know, big like the cement bag of tilapia fish feed runs in the region of between $27,000 to $30,000 a bag, right? So you know that if you are a small tilapia fish farmer, you know that that's a lot of money. However, the value within the feed is there, because the fish, one, the fish is healthy; two, the fish is lean; three, the fish grows quickly; four, your customers will like the grade of fish that you are selling. But for starters, a novice tilapia fish farmer will find it very difficult to find $30,000 just to feed some fish, and this is $30,000 per bag, and this is for like roughly 7 months. When you use these type of feed, it guarantees a harvest within 7 months, right? So I would say do not let it be more than probably 15 to 20% of their diet, rather than you know, allowing it to be like their total diet, right? So in an effort to put it straight and blunt towards you, the listeners, and persons who are interested and who have been practicing the use of duckweed as a main tilapia staple food, it is being suggested. Remember, I can just only suggest based off research, based off anecdotals, based off experience, that listen, duckweed is a snack, not a staple, right? And feeding your fish duckweed, it should not exceed like 15 to 20% of their normal intake of food. Thank you very much for stopping by, guys. I hope that this video was insightful. Have a productive day. Peace out. Catch you next time. Bye bye.